Hey yo, what's up Hoopers, and welcome back to CourtsideCosmo, where we break down the NBA with the best seats in the house. And today, we're going to do a 2025 NBA mock draft. Starting things off at number 1 overall, we have the most obvious pick in the draft. This has been locked in since Dallas won the lottery back on May 12th. After averaging 19 points, 7.5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.5 steals, and 1.5 blocks, Flag is one of the youngest prospects in this year's class, not turning 19 years old until December later this year. He signed a shoe deal with New Balance prior to starting his freshman year at Duke, proving that he has been looked at as a can't-miss prospect since high school. Flag is considered one of the most complete prospects that we've seen in years. Dallas really lucked out by winning the lottery just a couple months after trading away franchise superstar Luka Doncic. Flag is not only considered one of the best prospects, but he's one of the most complete prospects that we've seen in years. Dallas really got lucky winning the lottery and being able to draft him at number 1 overall after trading away their franchise superstar Luka Doncic. And then up next we have the San Antonio Spurs. I think the Spurs are just going to go best player available here. They already have their franchise centerpiece in 21-year-old Victor Wembanyama. They have the reigning Rookie of the Year in Stephon Castle, who they took with the 4th overall pick in just last year's draft. But Dylan Harper here. Dylan Harper has NBA-ready size to go along with his pro-ready game. Standing at 6'3" and weighing 213 pounds, Harper carries a strong frame and uses that strength to absorb contact and finish at the rim with touch. I personally think he has a higher ceiling than Stephon Castle, who just won Rookie of the Year, which makes this a can't-miss prospect for the Spurs at number 2. Here with the 3rd overall pick, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. I think this is where the draft is going to start to get interesting and really tough to mock. I originally had Ace Bailey as their pick here at number 3, but after Bailey canceled workouts with Philadelphia just 2 days before their meeting, I think the 76ers are going to end up pivoting and taking VJ Edgecombe out of Baylor. Edgecombe can provide defense and a high level of effort for Philly. There's always a chance that the 76ers GM Daryl Morey decides to go with more of a team need and draft Ace Bailey here, despite all of the pre-draft drama surrounding Bailey and his camp. You can't go wrong with VJ Edgecombe and figure out the logjam at the shooting guard position later on. Here at number 4, we have the Charlotte Hornets picking, and I really like Con Knuppel out of Duke for him here. Knuppel is an elite shooting prospect that is NBA ready. He possesses a strong feel for the game and has a solid all-around skill set. I like this pick for the Hornets because they're able to get a guy that's been shooting over 40% since high school. At 6'7" and 217 pounds, Knuppel is able to fit right into the roster between LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller, who were both 2nd overall picks for the Hornets in recent years. Looking at number 5 here, we got the Utah Jazz, and at this point in the draft, you would think that they'd be racing to the phone and taking Ace Bailey, who could be a potential steal at number 5. However, there's been a lot of reports about Bailey skipping workouts and refusing to meet with teams, and the Utah Jazz are one of the teams on that list. Once again, we're in a situation where the man calling the shots, Danny Ainge, who's the general manager in Utah, he could just grab Bailey with this pick and figure things out later on. But I think the Jazz will follow suit with the 76ers, skip on Ace Bailey, and take Jeremiah Fears with the 5th overall pick. Fears is a smaller guard when you compare him to the other guards in this draft and some that I've already mocked here. But he's such an explosive player with a ton of upside and might be worth the risk for a Utah Jazz team that's searching for their franchise point guard. For the Washington Wizards here at the 6th overall pick, what better place for the guy that's been getting all of the negativity leading up to tonight's draft? The young man that's been questioned about his maturity and decision-making on and off the court. Ace Bailey is easily a top 3 prospect in this draft class, but with him denying workouts, he's most likely going to have a bit of a slide down the draft board. Despite Bailey's camp being very particular about where he's drafted and making sure that he's put in a position to earn a max contract once he's off his rookie salary, the Wizards happen to be one of those teams on the short list of destinations that Bailey and his camp is interested in. We could see a team trade up to the number 3 spot ahead of Washington in order to select Ace Bailey, but I am in no position to be out here predicting any trades. With that in mind, Ace Bailey is going to be a Washington Wizard at number 6. They need someone that can be the guy for them, and Ace Bailey has the potential to be the guy. I just don't think Washington can pass up the potential that Ace Bailey has in this year's draft. Looking at the New Orleans Pelicans with the 7th overall pick, If the rumors are true and they do intend on keeping Zion Williamson, then I think Trey Johnson here out of Texas can fit right into this roster and provide a major scoring need for the Pelicans. He's a great shooter inside and outside the arc, and can really provide a scoring punch that New Orleans has missed since they traded away Brandon Ingram to the Toronto Raptors. After the Pelicans traded away CJ McCollum to the Washington Wizards in exchange for Jordan Poole, if they intend on keeping Poole on this roster, then Jordan Poole and Trey Johnson can provide the shooting that this team needs around Zion Williamson moving forward. I think here for the Brooklyn Nets at number 8, they're in a position to take the first true big man in this draft. Kaman Maluak is a really intriguing prospect, originally from South Sudan and now being drafted out of Duke. This is now the third Duke player to make my top 10. Maluak, standing at 7'2", 253 pounds, and holding a wingspan that's over 7'6". He's a game changer on defense, showing signs of elite rim protection. He's a solid lob threat on offense. You've even seen him step outside the paint and shoot a little bit. He's a 19-year-old that's just scratching the surface of his potential, and if the Nets plan on trading away Nick Claxton at any point this offseason, Maluak can work his way into that starting center position, and he has a lot more upside moving forward than Nick Claxton does. With the number 9 pick in the draft, the Toronto Raptors are in a position to go a couple different ways with this pick. I like the size that Derek Queen out of Maryland can bring to this team. They could trade up and draft Kaman Maluak, who I just picked for the Nets at number 8. But once I heard that RJ Barrett's name has been coming out in trade rumors, it just makes more sense for them to go with a guy like Carter Bryant here. Bryant displayed great defensive potential with his 6'8", 215-pound frame, even though he played limited minutes at Arizona. He can bring Toronto a better defender that can guard multiple positions, which they weren't getting from RJ Barrett, if Barrett does get moved this offseason. Carter Bryant is also a great catch-and-shoot player who could be a nice piece next to Scotty Barnes. And with the 10th pick in this top 10 2025 NBA mock draft, we all know the Phoenix Suns just traded away Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets. I have a small video on this channel that includes the details of that trade. I would love for Carter Bryant to make it to this pick because of that great defensive upside to put with Devin Booker and Jalen Green, who won't provide you much on that end of the floor. But with Bryant off the board and Kaman Maluak gone as well, I can see Phoenix looking to add some size to their roster. They desperately need a center, and Derek McQueen isn't the tallest or longest big man that you're going to find in this draft, or any draft for that matter, standing at 6'10" with a 7-foot wingspan. His biggest questions are going to come on the defensive end, which this Suns team is going to need a lot of. But Queen has a smooth game for having a bigger body, weighing in at 250 pounds. This is also just the best player available for a Suns team that I think will need to make more moves this offseason to continue building around Devin Booker. That's going to end my top 10 2025 NBA mock draft. With that said, I appreciate you all for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any videos that I got coming out. My name is Cosmo, and I'll catch you courtside.